corporate recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a front-end engineer, and I want to let everybody know I do non-tech resumes as well, so feel free to submit those. It just tech is in a dumpster fire, so most everything is a tech resume right now. So this is a front-end engineer, and they wrote me a big note, which is good. I would always prefer more notes than less. So, hey Lee, that is me. I am applying for front-end and full-stack positions. You need to use a different resume for each of those. Those are very different resumes. Let's see. My goal is to relocate to the Western and Northern EU countries. I have no idea what those are. I am a US-based recruiter, and while my advice has gotten people jobs globally, it's not a always one-to-one translation. So it's like 95% effective, but 5% of it's a little bit different. Let's see. I am a young senior and won't be receiving my bachelor's degree until July 2027. My LinkedIn is blocked. What did you do? Let's see. Fintech. I have a specific case, but perhaps you can help me clarify my path. I know it's better to have separate CVs for the roles, but in the end, I have to write separate CVs with locations to each country. About 7 EU, then you probably need 14 different resumes. One for full stack for each of those, and one for front end for each of those. There are thousands of variations in the role names. It doesn't matter if the names of the role are different. If it's a front-end role, they are probably going to ask for this in the US. If it's a full-stack role, they're going to ask for something different. It doesn't matter what they call it. I know that sounds weird. It matters what everybody calls it on a massive aggregate version. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. The terrible thing is invitation conversion is poor. 4 out of 100, 200 plus. So this is a garbage resume. I believe I have the right talent, but I'm being rejected due to location, and it's hard for me to get noticed. Yeah, relocating is a big red flag usually. I'm sending my final CV early November. Do you have any advice for my crazy situation? Well, first off, I don't think your situation is that crazy. I think you are so caught up in the chaos of it that you think it's a very unique. It's not. If I want to boil all of that down to what you said is basically, I am planning on relocating, and that's it. That's all it is. You're just planning on relocating. So what you do need to do, and you caught it, is at the very top, instead of location, you need to put moving to X by Y date. And in this case, if you are applying to 7 different countries in the EU, well, you will probably need 14 different resumes. One for front end, one for back end, times 7. But I'm expecting this to fail at both full stack and front end. So for front end engineer, we need this stuff in the US. Again, US based recruiter. Although I found that the EU is mostly similar, just 1 or 2 of these is a little bit different. So JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML, CSS, PHP, Next.js, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful API, SEO, Git, CLCD, Node.js, 0 to 1, communicate with stakeholders, needs into a product, and a bonus for that. That is full stack. Sorry, that is front end, not full stack. So, recruiters only have 20 seconds to find that. Can I find it in 20 seconds? Probably not, based on what they said. And go. Okay, nothing here can be used. Where's your degree? Where is your degree? Okay, good. You have it. Develop variation tools that helped uncover... Okay. Blah, blah, blah. It's using TypeScript. Architected and migrated to UI optimized. Don't care. Okay. Yeah, that I did not get that far in this resume. This is pretty much what I expected, is this is too focused on both things than front end. So for the record, and I know people are probably raging right now, and that's fine, you may rage, but I am correct, is for front end, this is what we need. For full stack in the US, this is what we need. And if you notice, despite front end being a part of full stack, these are different, right? Full stack, front end. Full stack, front end. And you actually don't have enough qualifications to meet either of them. This is why you need to break your resume up, all right? If you do not break your resume up into the job title of front end versus full stack, you are going to run into the problem that you currently have, which is your resume is too broad to be used for either of them. So the first thing you need to do is fix your formatting. It's bad. If you notice, the only thing that I care about in formatting is how long I can find things in 20 seconds. Because your degree is all the way at the bottom, I had to scroll all the way down there before I could find it, which cost me valuable seconds in your resume. That's it. I don't care how pretty or ugly your resume is. I care that I can find it in 20 seconds before I am forced to move on. This is the format you should use unless, and there is an exception to this, unless you are a high-level director or a job hopper. This format does not work for those two. But if it's not those two situations, high-level director or alternatively a job hopper, then this will work for you. From accountants to recruiters to software engineers, you need this one. So that is on my website. How to do it is here. It's free. It's in the link below. But regardless of the formatting, this is too many different things, right? Like if you notice for front end, what am I looking for? I'm looking for JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML. So I found React, right? Again, TypeScript is a bonus, but it's not the full thing. I need the rest of it. So I have Next.js, so that's 2 things that I found. SEO, that's 3 things that I found. Cross-functional, probably don't care that much about, but it's nice to have. Let's see, Agile, Scrum, right? And that's as far as I got. I didn't even get down to this. So I don't know why you put TypeScript, Angular, HTML, and CSS all the way at the bottom. That's a big mistake. That should be at the very top. So yeah, this is why you're having problems, is this resume is bad because it's not specialized. Now, if I was looking for full stack, right? Let's go with full stack. Oh, that's completely different. That was from the last video. Full stack would be this. So where is the TypeScript? Okay, good. Right here. Where's the React? Okay, good. Here. Where's the HTML, CSS? I don't see it. Okay. Node.js? It's nice to have. That's good. Where's the SQL? I don't see it. And I don't need SEO, even though I need SEO for front end. So this is why you need to break up your resume. I get that you think your situation is unique, but having reviewed tons of these and been a recruiter for quite a bit now, most candidate situation is not unique. It's depressing, it's sad, it's upsetting, and it's frustrating, but it's not unique. There's really no difference from you to another person that is just applying out of state, is that your resume needs to be broken up into 2. So break up your resume. Break it up. We're done. We're done with this. Split it into 2. And then write how you wrote this stuff with that. You actually did pretty well with writing it. And then you will have enough qualifications to get the role that you want. Because right now, a full stack developer who is reviewing this, or a full stack manager, whatever, the manager who has the position is going to look at this and say, okay, well, they don't have enough full stack or front end to move forward. For a front end, they say, well, they have a little bit more full stack, but this is too much of a front end position. They won't be interested. Declined. Full stack will look at this and go, well, it's nice, but they just don't have enough. Their back end isn't strong enough. Declined. So that is why you're having problems. So please fix the formatting, break it up, and you will have so much more success. Assuming the qualifications are the same in the EU, which based on the amount of people I have helped, they probably are. But before we go to the next resume, I just want to thank you viewers at home for watching. I really do appreciate it. I thank you for subscribing and liking and reposting and commenting and sharing this with your friends and family that need help. It really helps me out. And I want to thank my members personally for being members. You all get access to videos a little bit earlier. If you want to be a member, the link is below. But thank you very much. And if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlesshedhunter. And we're going to the next resume. This is a full stack developer. So for a full stack developer, we need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React, SQL, RESTful API, Cloud, CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus for that stuff. This person has a terrible ratio, which I think I saw that you're international. So if you're an international, at least in the US, your ratio should be at a minimum 1 in 100. That's literally how hard it is going to be, is at a minimum should be 1 in 100. And I know that because I helped a person that was getting 1 in 500 down to 1 in 30. And then the Trump changes happened, and now it is back to 1 in 100. But that's still better than a lot of their peers. Although I think they ended up actually getting a job, so that is good. So it does work. So A 150 for an international is bad, but it doesn't mean it's the worst thing ever. But it's still bad. So let's see if I can find what I need in 20 seconds. And go. All right, degree, good. Cross-platform with Flutter, don't care. TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, okay, good. Architected, scalable with Elixir and Phoenix, don't care. RESTful APIs, do care. Phoenix, don't care. Designed and optimized PostgreSQL schemas. AWS, S3, CICD, and that's it. So they had some of what I needed. The problem is, if they're an international, they're judged even more harshly, which is not fair. I don't agree with that, but that's how it is. So they said, international student here. I'm a full stack developer. Just completed my master's and I've been searching for a full stack role. The only thing is my experience is in Elixir Phoenix. I don't think I've ever seen a role for that. But I also want to explore more roles in Node.js, Spring Boot. I've added the projects. I made these topics, APIs, and we'll write them based on your recommendation. Looking forward to your review. So yeah, your formatting is off. Again, you want to use this formatting. And then what part of the visa you're on is also different. Are you on an OPT or are you on an H-1B? Which, considering you're in Canada, I have no idea how their immigration laws work. I do not know anything about that. I've gotten people jobs in Canada, but how that immigration works in Canada, that is beyond my knowledge base. I know the US. So, but when we get down to the bullet points, we have a problem is you're focusing a lot on Flutter and Phoenix. And I know you said Elixir and Phoenix. The problem is it doesn't matter if that's what you focus on if there are no jobs with that. And from what I found, most jobs are not going to have Elixir or Phoenix. So you probably don't even want to mention those. But if you do find a role, then maybe create a resume specifically based on Elixir and Phoenix. Because, again, it matters if people are hiring with this. So here, build a cross-platform mobile application using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. All right? That is what I want. I don't care about Flutter or whatever. And then instead of for seamless user experience, I want you to tell me what the website was. What company was this? Was this a fintech? Was this a SaaS? Was this a healthcare? I don't know. You did not tell me. And that can be beneficial for some engineers is, a healthcare. They want to know healthcare. They want to know that you have the same industry experience. So what was the industry of this? That is what you could put here. Then we go down to here. And again, I don't care about Elixir and Phoenix. RESTful APIs is good. And then you have nothing else here. Then design and optimize PostgreSQL database is good, but then nothing else here. So the goal should be 3 keywords per sentence at a minimum. 3 to 6 is the goal. Sometimes you can get away with 8, but ideally, especially in tech, you want 3 to 6. And right now, each of these has 1. To the point where they may not even get down here because this is difficult to read. Implemented CI/CD pipelines with Docker, that's okay. But again, that's only 2. So this is part of your problem is your bullet points are too long. And also, I don't see the years of experience, but that may just be wanted to make sure it wasn't here for the channel, and that's okay. But yeah, I just don't see it. It's very long-winded. You need about 3 to 8 bullet points, and then each of those bullet points should have 3 to 6 keywords. And right now, you have 9 bullet points, and each of them have only about 1 to 2 keywords. So not only are you reducing the chance that we can find what we need, you don't even necessarily have everything we need because of how big this is and that we can find it. So fix your formatting, shrink these sentences down, and probably just remove the Phoenix or the Flutter or create an entirely different resume so that you have one resume for normal full stack roles and one resume for whatever the other stuff is, because it doesn't matter if you know it if there's only 2 companies hiring for it. So next, resume. This is a resume of a data engineer. So what we need for a data engineer is Python ETL or ELT, Scala, data algorithm, SQL, big data, Kafka, Spark, Hadoop, Cloud, DataX, Snow, ability to manage, communicate data plans to non-technical people, industry, SDLC, etc., and a bonus for DevOps, Jira, Confluence, and MS Office. So this person says they have a 1 in 50. That's pretty solid. If that's accurate, sometimes it's not, but that's pretty good. So 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, ETL, good. Splunk, okay. MySQL, Okay, good. Design a text for SQL, Python, RDB. Built the workflow, GitHub, Python, Streamline, GitHub. I don't need that. Python dashboards. It's so focused on that. ELT, Google Cloud. Yeah. I mean, this has some of what I need, but not all of it. Like a big problem with this one is just it's too. Again, this is like the theme for this episode is it's too sporadic. Like it has too much stuff that I don't need. So let me go through this and tell you all what I did find. I found ETL, right? First line, good. Shows me what it is in SQL. Okay, good. Perfect. Taking it out. Then RESTful APIs, which I don't care about as a data engineer. Then designed a text SQL AI agent. You already stated SQL. I don't care about that. But AI agent could be useful, right? That could be there. For UCAS in Python. Okay, good. That's something I need. And then I don't need whatever this is or whatever this is. And then I don't care what time to action is. You don't need that percentage. Then built for GitHub, which I don't need. And you already mentioned Python here, so you don't need to mention it again here. Don't care about Streamlight. REST APIs, again, don't care about. But at least that shows you're in the right industry. So I could consider one of those for an industry. Right, I prefer like SDLC, but whatever. And then Python, again, you mentioned Python. You should not mention the same keyword in the same job twice, if you can avoid it. Sometimes you can't, but you don't need to tell me Python here and here and here, right? You only need it once, but you should tell me here, all right? Once per job, per keyword is the goal. Then we get down to here, ETL again, that's good, and Python again, good, because it's in a second job, which is good, and then GCP for Google Cloud, so that's good, you tell me cloud. And then BigQuery, maybe that could be big data. I might not have written it down, but it might be it. And that's kind of it. So this is a bit of the problem with your resume. So formatting you need to fix, but a bigger issue is your bullet points are only repetitive because the only thing I found out was ETL, good, AI, probably good, SQL, good, Python, good, and nothing else here. That's it. So that's 4 bullet points for 4 keywords when I need more, right? I need 75% of these to move forward. Did you say anything about data that I missed? No, you said warehouse errors, not data warehouse. You did have cloud in the second one. Yeah, so you just don't have enough, right? And you wasted a lot of space, and you made it harder to read by adding these like 100K monthly and 30% on average, and those don't matter. Unless you're in sales or a manager role, you don't want to include numbers in your bullet points. You really, really don't. Because this is not impact. This means nothing. This is not impact. This means nothing. This means nothing, right? Even if it does mean something, it means nothing to the person reading it. So try not to put percentages in your resume or numbers unless you're manager or sales. Sorry, salespeople definitely need to put numbers. But unless you're those, you really don't need them. So fix the formatting, fix your bullet points, add more, and you should be good. I don't know if this is an actual 1 in 50. Maybe it is. I do know this is a bit of a rarer job type, but your ratio should improve dramatically. Next, resume. This is a full stack software engineer, and yeah, I'm aware of the formatting on this one. They sent it as a JPEG, and I had to convert it to a PDF, and it just looks like this. So this is what we've got, y'all, and oh boy, I'm gonna try to read this. So this person states they have a 1 in 25, which, if so, fantastic. I don't know if that's accurate or not. They stated, I was laid off 3 months ago and I'm starting the job search again. This is the resume I've used to get 2 positions prior. Okay. I've added my latest position details. I'm ready to work with any stack, but my previous was mostly in .NET, React, and Angular. Should I focus on applying to backend .NET roles only or apply to anything with full stack? Probably anything with full stack. You should be okay. For your information, I've been working in Canada the entire time, but now I'm applying in London, UK. Okay. So, assuming the qualifications list are correct, which mostly translate, they're usually, I think the difference in the UK is they cared more about Java than Python, but that could have changed. So, 20 seconds to find it, and go. Okay. A full stack React.net integrating 6 platforms. Okay. Achieving the data consistency. It's okay. Okay, don't care. Azure SQL. Okay. RESTful APIs in .NET. SQL. Indexed boosting analysis. Query speed. Don't care. SCADA. Don't care. Okay, this is not. I don't think this is a 1 in 25. Sometimes people don't put the right one. I will doubt this is a 1 in 25. I don't think it's a terrible, awful, no good resume. I just don't think it's a 1 in 25. So if you noticed, my big problem here is the only things I could really find were React and .NET, which are good, right? .NET, React, those are things I'm looking for. But you're going for a full stack role and SQL. I found SQL. Where is the TypeScript, the JavaScript, the CSS, the HTML? Sometimes you can get away with not having the TypeScript and you can replace it with the backend language, but where is the JavaScript, the CSS, and the HTML? And yes, I know what Node.js and stuff is, but this is specifically what they're looking for. If you are applying to a full stack role and you do not have JavaScript, CSS, HTML, you're probably going to keep getting rejected. You need that, and that needs to be in the first sentence within the first 6 to 7 words. And then we go down here, and I just don't see almost anything else. You filled this with like 80% by engineer approval workflow, which, whatever. Azure, again, the problem is you put Azure Functions instead of Azure, so they may or may not know that's cloud. And you do have RESTful APIs here in microservices. The problem is this is, and I'm not counting how it got botched when you submitted it to me. I'm saying even if this format I could read, this is hard to read, right? So even if it did not get messed up, this is really, 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 really technically dense. And that is not something you want. You want this stuff and basically this stuff only. And you fill it with like SCADA and Ignition and NetSuite and 100% data accuracy or whatever this is, it doesn't matter. And again, SCADA and capacity planner and load tracking and critical end-to-end development, full stack project, application component, comprehensive new APIs and relational, blah, 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 blah. No one can read this. So once you fix the formatting, I want you to go back to the drawing board in some of these sentences and 3 keywords per sentence minimum, 6 maximum, and B, you need to write them in a way that somebody could understand them in 20 seconds because this is not understandable. This is very difficult to read, and you need to remove these percentages. Everybody puts in these percentages, and it's just bad. It doesn't help. It means nothing. Like no job description I have ever seen in my life said you need to boost analyst query speed by 30% or you will not get this role. No job has a thing where they're like, oh, you didn't do it by at least 30%, declined. No, it's did you use JavaScript, TypeScript, SQL? That's the stuff that matters. This stuff is irrelevant, and you filled it with mostly irrelevant stuff. Yeah. Mostly just irrelevant stuff. Part of the reason you got a job here is, well, quite frankly, this was right before the market crashed. Here is actually shocking that you got it, but this is, at least you have some of the stuff here. So I'm going to need you to go back, fix the formatting, add more stuff to the bullet points, take out the redundant stuff. And this goes to everybody. Please, unless you're in sales or a manager, stop with all the random percentages and numbers. It does not help. That is not impact. Next resume. This is a machine learning intern. So what we need for a machine learning intern is the same thing we need for every other intern. The industry, which in this case is going to be machine learning, Python, C++ or SQL, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Cloud, LLM, AI, generative AI, ChatGPT, and probably one or two other AI stuff like, I don't know, maybe agentic or something. Takes direction and criticism, works well with others. This is huge. Like, you need this. If you do not have, you can take direction and criticism and work well with others. In your intern resume specifically, you're probably going to get declined. Like, this is one of the biggest things that interns don't put. Like, they have the tech skills, but they don't show they can work well with others, which hiring teams care about in an intern because this is like your first time, right? This may be your first time working with other people, and they don't want you to crash out, which has happened quite a bit. So, can I find this in 20 seconds? This person says it's a 1 in 100, so I'm assuming I'm going to find some stuff, probably won't find how to work well with others, and there should be some slight tweaks we can do to change it. So away we go. Education. Okay, good. Don't care about that. Predicting when electric cars in China and Hong Kong spare implemented. Okay. Prepare deep learning with TensorFlow and PyTorch. Okay, good. Influ or whatever this is. Don't care about. Don't care about. Don't care about. Don't care about. Do care about, and declined. So let me read what you wrote, but yeah, you just don't have the actual like anything. Like your formatting's fine. It just there's nothing in the bullet points. This is also why your formatting matters. Is if you saw, I was able to read much farther down than most of the others. So, all right. I'm in my final year student at a tier 2 college in India. I'm looking for machine intern roles. I have a little background in research. I mostly apply on LinkedIn, WellFund. I don't know what WellFund is. And Indeed and data science roles, but I can't get any reply back. Once got a reply from a startup, but I messed up the interview. It can happen. Not everybody does every interview well. I've messed up some interviews too. It happens. I had applied to over 100 listings and only gotten one interview call. Please help me better present my resume so that I can grab more interviews, because now I'm well prepared and can pass the interview, but I don't get any calls. Yeah, you don't have anything they want. Like, you put in what you believed was impressive, but that's not what they care about. And I'm going to use a metaphor, which I probably should have done at the very beginning of this video, but so imagine you're a waiter, right? And a customer comes in and they say, I would like a hamburger with cheese, and instead of bread, I want lettuce, right? That's something that happens in California. It's rare, but it happens. So they just want a burger, cheese, and it's wrapped in lettuce instead of the bun. So you go and you give that directions to the cook. The cook comes back and hands you a plate of spaghetti. Would you be comfortable presenting that to the customer? Is if they ask for a hamburger wrapped in lettuce and cheese and you came back with spaghetti, would you be comfortable? Because that is what you did right now. This is a bunch of spaghetti and practically no hamburgers. None of this is what they're asking for. They're asking for like this stuff. And in your second sentence is fine, right? I actually think this is a really good second sentence. This can be deleted because you say it all here, but like where is the sequel? Where is the PyTorch? I think I might have seen PyTorch. Where is the cloud? Where's the machine learning? Okay, yeah, you don't even mention machine learning until all the way down here. And I know what you're about to say. You say, Lee, this implies very clear that nothing is implied. If it's implied on your resume, it's implied that you don't have it. And that is one of the biggest resume rules. You don't even put machine learning here. I need you to even put implemented machine learning, deep learning with TensorFlow and Python. Because right now, this doesn't show anything about machine learning until all the way down here somewhere. And no one's going to read all the way down there. This you can delete. I don't know why you put this here. It doesn't matter. It has to be here or it doesn't count. And like, where's the other stuff with the AI? Where's the fact that you can take direction and criticism and work well with others? I don't know. But this is why no one's calling you back, is you put stuff like utilized urban EV data set, 180 charging records from Shenzhen, analyzed using comprehensive data pre-processing pipelines to extract hourly data and weekly charging patterns. No one wants that. That is a bunch of spaghetti. This is hamburger, right? This is great. The only thing is missing is you need to tell me it's machine learning. But this at least tells me what you did and it gives me context. This shows me the industry. This shows me TensorFlow and Python. This is nothing. It's a bunch of spaghetti. And we don't want spaghetti. We want hamburgers. Here, achieved 40% lower computational costs and 15% better week ahead forecast. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody's asking for that. And I'm not trying to diminish what you did, but it's kind of like going up to somebody and say, hey, I got plat in League of Legends. They're going to be, okay, that's cool. What's League of Legends? I don't care. That's not impressive, right? This is what you need to do, is stop writing a bunch of spaghetti and write the hamburgers. This is the stuff they care about. Not this, or this, or this, or actually this. Like, this is your problem. You only have, and this is admittedly a good one, a good second sentence. Everything else in here is junk. Spaghetti. Then down here, TensorFlow is good, and nothing else. Yeah, nothing else is good. Then down here, machine learning, first time you mentioned it in your resume. And then nothing else. Skibbity learn, okay, good. Don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. Maybe I could care about some of this. So that's your issue, is you filled it with stuff they don't care about. And I understand that you have been working on this. I understand that you think this is impressive. And the fact is, this may be impressive, but if you're hiring a waiter, if you're hiring an accountant to do your taxes, why do you care that they solved world hunger? That's not related to doing your taxes. And you filled your resume with a bunch of stuff that's not related. I am glad that you almost followed my formatting perfectly. You should not have these. These should not exist on it. But everything else is at least good on the formatting. So go back to the drawing board on this and put in the stuff that they actually want. Right? Because otherwise you're just going to keep getting rejected, and it doesn't matter the formatting you use if the bullet points aren't there. So that's all I can do for this one. I just want to thank everybody again for liking, commenting, subscribing to this, and sharing it with your friends and family that need help. I just want to help as many people as I can, and I wanted to thank my members personally. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. The link to become a member is below. You get access to videos a little bit earlier than everybody else, and if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, and I will see you in the next video.